We are Frontiers for Young Minds, and today I'm here with the author of Towards SDG 16, Safe and Secure Use of Information and Communication Technology. This is a paper that covers the topic on cybersecurity. My name is Aisha, and would you like to please introduce yourself?
It is a pleasure to be here. I am Haris Konstantinou. I'm an assistant professor in the Electrical and Computer Engineering program of KAUST within the SEMSEN division of KAUST. And my area of expertise is within the broad aspect of cybersecurity, particularly working on energy systems and power grid infrastructure.
So, with your experience in this sort of field of topic, what led you to go into this field of research in the first place? Why cybersecurity?
My first studies were focusing mostly on energy and power systems. Graduating with my bachelor degree, it was at a time where the digitization of our social and industrial life began to expand in a very broad manner. And that led me to identify and seek for challenges that, if integrated with critical infrastructures such as energy grids, water infrastructures, will create challenges. And in a way to address these challenges, cybersecurity was one of the main themes that was particularly interesting at that time. And as we can see since then, and as of today, it still remains relevant and interesting to explore.
Did you experience any challenges with cybersecurity in your own time creating your software, or?
Cybersecurity is a very changing field, right? So the things that were relevant 10 years ago may be not relevant today. So it is a field that is moving in a very fast pace. So in order to be able to capture the relevant aspects of the topic, you need to be updated with the current trends and areas in order to make sure that your research or your information it's up to date with what is happening in the outside world, right? And we have to be aware that it is a field that deals with typically what we call attackers and defenders, right? The people that try to do something, to harm something, a system, people, etc. And then on the other hand, some other group of people that tries to protect against those threats, right? So we have to be aware that attackers are always one step ahead, right? Yes. So we have to make sure that we have the knowledge to protect and detect and in some way respond to those threats in a very timely manner with specialized tools and specialized software that is able to capture all these specialized threat vectors.
So your software works as a defender in this.
We try to develop tools to protect against those attacks, right? But the best way to learn how to protect is to learn how to attack, right? So the first kind of a topic in any cybersecurity area is learn how to develop tools to attack systems. And by having this knowledge, you come to the other side to defend against those attacks.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Katerina. If it was a news headline, how would you explain what cybersecurity is?
I would say it is the art of protecting our digital lives, right? Since we grow, we learn how to cross the road. So it's pretty much something similar, right? As learning how to navigate and how to cross through the digital platforms, like how to use our computers and how to make sure that we're safe and secure while we browse the internet, right? It's pretty much, this is the art of learning how to protect in this digital world. Pretty much similar on how we learn how to protect our house from intruders.
How can people use cybersecurity to protect their devices?
There are many ways to do that. For example, we can use antivirus software in our computers in order to identify malicious and bad software that tries to harm our files and our documents. We can avoid, for example, clicking on suspicious links using strong and unique passwords, right, when we try to access some website. So there are different ways, and by learning about cybersecurity, we can be aware of what is going out there in order to adapt in those situations.
Hi, my name is Zaha, and could you tell us about the most common types of malware and how people come across them while browsing the internet?
I would say there are three main common types of malware. There are viruses that essentially spread within computers in order to affect different files and documents. There is also spyware that tries to gather personal information and personal data from different users in order to be used in a bad way somehow. And recently we have seen also a huge spike in what we call ransomware, right? Malicious software that is able to lock devices and release the data that they lock until at the time when a ransom, some payment is being made. So I would say that these are the three main types of malicious software that we see nowadays.
Okay, and why do people create malware?
People create malware for different reasons, right? First and foremost, I would say financial motives, right? In order to create some financial benefit out of it. There might be also geopolitical reasons behind it in order to affect a particular country infrastructure or show a particular presence, right? There might be also situations where hackers try to prove that they're able to do something, right? To show their skills into their community. So I would say these are the main reasons behind the rise of malware in recent days.
Hi, my name is Elias Qaddura. In your opinion, what's the connection between your work with cybersecurity and SDG 16?
SDG 16 is about peace and justice, right? So cybersecurity is the techniques and the mechanisms that can essentially help us to create this peace and justice in the digital world that we're living in, right? So similar with peace and justice that we need to enforce between different countries and people, right? In this interconnected world, we need to ensure that there is peace and justice in this digitized, interconnected world, right? So cybersecurity is related to that in terms of SDG 16. Okay?
Yeah. Is this paper relevant to any other SDGs?
It is also relevant to the SDG 4 that talks about innovation and industry, right? Because cybersecurity it creates innovative methods essentially to protect either consumer, commercial, or industrial sectors, right? How do we protect our airplanes? How do we protect our electricity delivery systems, right? So they deliver electricity to our homes safely and we don't have loss of power in our houses. So it is relevant to SDG 4, right? And it's also relevant to the 9, right? Which talks about quality of education, right? So it is important for young people like you to learn about cybersecurity in order to navigate and make sure that they are protected and don't click on, malicious links and have strong passwords, as we mentioned before. So it is important also to create an education system where cybersecurity is enforced and used for young people to be educated.
Hi, my name is Sean Omar, and my question is, so you mentioned in the research paper how you set out to create a software that could prevent damage to the ICT systems. So my question is, how are you going to implement this software into different devices?
So the goal of our research is pretty much identifying solutions that can help protect different devices and systems, right? And this has a meaning, as we chatted before, in the sense that if this won't be used by any person, has no meaning, right? So our goal is how we essentially drive our research in a way that the innovation that we develop and the tools that we develop and the frameworks and the systems that we develop will be essentially used in the everyday lives of different people, right? So in order to make this transition from research to the use in different devices, there are different steps by first making sure that the platform of the framework you develop is able to sustain or be effective in operation across a long period of time, making sure that it's able to protect, I guess, variants of different attacks, right? So essentially, in order to do that, there are different testing steps before driving the research into the commercialization and the everyday use by different people.
So, what advice would you give to people who would want to explore more about your research?
In general, the field of cybersecurity, especially in critical infrastructures, it's a very important field, right? Because as we mentioned before, everything is interconnected now, right? We live in a digitized world, right? So I think most important is to have the motivation to learn about up-to-date topics by joining different cybersecurity clubs or groups and forums that can help you learn. Also, it's very important to follow recent stories that have to do with incidents that happened in the past or happen today about cybersecurity. And by doing that, you can essentially learn all this information with up-to-date knowledge on what is going on in order to explore into your further studies the mechanisms on how to develop different schemes in order to protect against those recent threats.
Thank you.
You're welcome.